If you've been lucky enough to stumble across this plumberparts.co.uk video on plumbing disasters, then please do subscribe. I hope you enjoy our little Halloween video of all the terrible things that can happen in the world of plumbing. Please do visit our channel to find out about all the other lovely plumbing videos that we do. Let it be known now that every photo that has been shown here today shall receive a sticker, if they have not already received one. And it is up to each person who has their photo shown to go to Facebook and message us and send over their address so we can find them. Anyway, I hope you enjoy today's plumberparts.co.uk video, and I'll see you on the other side. As usual, George is not happy about being in today's video, and therefore I have had to chop him up some mini milk because he likes mini milks to keep him nearby. I've also had to lock his cat flap as well so he won't get out. But enough of George and the cutting up of his mini milk. Without further ado, let me blow out this candle and move on to this week's horrific, terrifying photos. Sorry, I had to light the candle again because without the candle you wouldn't be able to see me. First up, Chris Deakin sends us through a photo of a boiler its flue has not quite been made good. It looks like the man here used expanding foams to make good the hole around the flue. He did not think of using bricks or mortar to fix such things. What a fool. Thank you, Chris, for your photo. I was once reminded of a time when I was in a... Chris Lifford has sent us through a photo of what looks like some 1.5 inch waste pipe directly above a plug. Chris, send us your address and we shall send you a sticker and maybe more. Anyway, I was reminded of a time when I was an apprentice. Darren Sheehan sent us through a photo of possibly some of the worst plumbing, the most horrific plumbing I have ever seen. It looks like a shower pump, but really one cannot be sure because the pipes are so old with all their push-fit, Ep.25 flexibles and lack of clips or any semblance of normality or sanity as this man ruined a plumbing installation. Thank you, Darren Sheehan, for your photo. A sticker shall come out our way. Send us your address. Anyway, I was reminded of a story when I was an apprentice. It was a long time ago, and Fluid Plumbing Solutions sent us through this photo that will appear just above this uncarved pumpkin. It has been rumoured in many lofts around the United of Kingdoms that if a man or a plumber should turn his back on the darkest part of a loft, then he shall be eaten alive by the creature that crawls out from the loft boards, known as the 40-gallon cold water storage tank. Send us your address, Fluid Plumbing Solutions. We shall find you and we shall send you a sticker. Jack Bennett sent us through a photo of him with a sticker that we sent him just last week. No one's heard from Jack since. Until a moment ago, when Jack Bennett sent us through a photo of a ghost leaning or swinging from some pipe, some flexible pipe, some Hep.25 or some JG Speedfit. No one's heard from Jack since then. Anyway, as I was saying, I was reminded of a story of when I was an apprentice, long ago. It was of the fourth moon of the... Jason Newcomb sent us through a photo of the dreaded beast of the loft known as the cold water storage tank. This one has mastered the art of balancing. They are very, very cunning creatures, the cold water storage tank, and should be watched closely. Jason then sent us through a photo of what I thought was the bashing out of his own brains, but it turned out it was his father had put a bath bomb in the toilet, thinking it was toilet cleaner. None of them have been heard of since. Jeremy Weston was very lucky to get away from this giant Osmo wall crab, as he could see it scaling up the wall to the top where it could eat its way at the moss of the roof. These giant Osmo wall crabs are not only very fast, but they are also very, very expensive. John Samuel McCluskey sent us through the first of 3 photos. The first one shows what we already are well aware of, the dreaded cold water storage tank, perched high up, balanced on a small ledge, looking down at its prey. The next was a ghost pipe. All that could be seen was the protruding handle of the cold water stopcock. The pipe is there, but it is invisible. A ghost pipe, some say never visible. And then finally John sent us through his last photo before all contact ceased. It was of the flow side of the hot water coil going into an indirect hot water cylinder. John, send us your address. We shall find you and send you a sticker. Carl Niblock sent us through a photo of a dreaded cold water storage tank. And if you look closely, you shall see the rotting, decaying flesh of the corpse of a rat that is slowly being eaten by that cold water storage tank. Patrick Kavanagh sent us through a photo of a dreadful toilet that he had to work on. He was offered a cup of tea by the customer, but the toilet was in such bad states that he didn't trust that he'd even survive the cup of tea. Such were the scandalously poor conditions in the kitchen. Powell has used his own flesh to seal up the bottom side of this kitchen sink. At first I thought it was plumber's mate, but then, because it's Halloween, I suddenly realized it was human flesh. Sam Chelsea Hall sent us through a photo of 2 bottles copulating together, forming themselves into the parts of a waste pipe to get rid of some horrible fluids. And then Terry Harkin sent us through a photo of a urinal, a place where the men go, without a trap or anything to stop the smell of encrusted urine and yeast coming up from the horrible waste pipes into the snouts of the said men. All they had used was a flexible connector. It was probably Friday. Matthew Edge sent us through a photo that might look like the radiator is actually trying to jump out on him. But it has been said that Matthew is such a scary person that even radiators try to hide. We leave the last 2 photos of the terrible things that can happen in the world of plumbing to now. Vinnie McNally found the corpse of a customer who'd morphed themselves into a rat to get away from his large invoice and tried to get down the toilet, but unfortunately it morphed into too big a rat and it drowned in the U-bend. Finally, Zeke Williamson, last heard of just a few days ago, sent us through a photo of a strange animal that he'd found under a bath or a kitchen unit. We have no idea what it is, but when I spoke to some of the other zombies in the village, they said that it was definitely an 18+ photo, and I have no idea what they mean. And so me and George and the floating candle of plumber parts will bid you adieu. Have a lovely, happy Halloween. Please continue to send in your photos and videos to plumberparts for our delectation. I hope you have a lovely Halloween time, and I'll see you in our next video. The awful, awful changing over of a single pillar kitchen tap, the heat exchanging system on a swimming pool boiler. Of course, how could we forget the use of an accumulator to boost mains cold water system. Until then, watch out for those cold water storage tanks in the loft, and definitely look out for what Zeke Williamson found underneath that kitchen unit. Thank you for watching, everybody. Goodbye. Flesh. Ooh, flesh. Flesh.